A very good evening, everyone, and happy International Women's Month to all beautiful ladies in this space. My name is Margaret Businje, and I'm very honored to be your moderator for this important discussion on breaking barriers to women's financial independence. Financial independence is not just about income. It is about having control over financial decisions, accessing opportunities, and securing long-term financial security. Yet, systematic challenges such as work-life balance, wage disparities, limited access to financial literacy education, and societal expectations continue to hold many women back. So tonight, we have the privilege of engaging with a distinguished panel of experts who bring diverse perspectives and actionable solutions to the table. Together, we will explore strategies to empower women as equal participants and leaders in financial and economic spaces. Without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists. So get ready to learn with us tonight. I'll go ahead and introduce our speakers, myself speaking. My name is Immaculate Businje. I'm founder and CEO of IB Financial Freedom Solutions. That is a company that actually does financial consulting. Anything finance, you want to start anything, you want to start over as a company, or you want to actually go into financial services, I'm here to help you. And then we do have our expert, Madame Odette Kabaya, a former regional gender advisor with UNDP. You can imagine what you have in stores for you. The next one, we do have Dr. Sharon Owanyuze, a professor at Missouri University of Science and Technology. As young as she is, she's going to be enriching us tonight. And then we do have Catherine Rivanga, a president of a Rwandan community of the DMV, that is the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. You can imagine a big area she does read. And then we do have Madame Leila Gaju Kabanda, Vice President of U.S. Rwandan community abroad. So tonight, actually, you do have a good team that is going to enlighten you tonight. But again, we are learning together, and we'll start. As we start, we're going to look at, as we're talking about this topic is actually very broad, but as you can know, it's going to be hard like for us to exhaust all the those barriers in just 1 hour. But we'll pick a few major ones, at least that we can find actionable solutions to those. And then as we keep going with our discussions, we'll keep exploring more topics. So as to start, we'll start with our expert, Madame Odette Kabaya. I'll ask her a question, and then she'll go in with her expertise and enlighten us and educate us as we also open to learn together. So Madame Odette, as an expert in gender issues, what do you consider to be the most significant barriers for women's financial independence? And what practical solutions can help overcome these challenges? So the mic is going to be open. We'll wait, everyone again, wait for questions later. We'll go ahead and welcome Madame Odette Kabaya to take on the stage. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for having me, and most importantly for organizing this important and timely celebration of the International Women's Month. By the way, happy International Women's Day, and specifically Women's Month to all of you on this platform. The subject for discussion is, you just said it, what are the most significant barriers to women's financial independence? It has a significant contribution to women's economic empowerment. Why do this subject matters? What are the global and national legal and policy framework that support the financial independence of women. Empirical evidence shows that women economic empowerment and closing the gender gaps in the key areas is associated with positive macroeconomic outcomes, including the high economic growth, lower inequalities, increased productivities, better financial sector outcomes, and better financial stabilities. Many global, regional, and national legal and policy frameworks in support of women's empowerment and specifically women financial independence, there exists. Some examples are the International Labour Organization conventions, for example, the convention number 100 on equal pay, the convention number 111 against discrimination in respect of employment, some regional and national policies and programs, just to name a few. Despite the existence and the implementation of the legal and policy frameworks, we still have significant barriers to women's economic empowerment and women's financial independence, which go hand in hand. The most significant barriers to women's financial independence that we managed to identify for now, but trying to summarize them are as follows. One is limited access to and control over productive resources and investment opportunities. A wealth of evidence confirms the importance of household resource control, including land and housing, for women's greater self-esteem, respect from others, member of family, access to credits on they have not collateral, mobility outside of the home, and decision-making power. Women's entrepreneurs receive less venture capital funding, and women investors often face bias in financial services. Globally, 28% of women are less likely than men to have a bank account. You can imagine how they operate and the level of risks they face. Gender pay, the second barrier is about the gender pay gap and bias in workplace leadership. Women on average earn less than men for the same work, leading to the lower earnings and saving and to less disposable income to invest. They face challenges in advancing to leadership position, limiting earning potential and decision-making influence in the area of financial sector. Social norms, career interruption, and unpaid care and domestic work. You touched about that, Madam Chair, when you highlighted the key issue of work-life balance. Women are likely to take career breaks for caregiving children, elderly parents, which is important for family, community, the country. But at the same time, it has a negative impact on earning, promotion, career development, on retirement saving, which is very important. In addition, unpaid work remains unrecognized in dominant economic approaches. For example, it is largely uncounted for in official GDP calculation. Yet a recent conservative estimates values it at US dollars 10 trillion per year, about 13% of the global GDP, which is not considered in the global GDP. You can imagine in our respective countries what's happening. Providers have less incentive to cater to women because the margins are smaller, and women require more upfront investment to bring on board as customer. How do you lower transaction costs for someone who deals in small sums or some amount of money? So also women have less access to technology. Maybe my colleague will address this, but the GSMA estimates that 200 million fewer women than men own a mobile phone across low and middle income countries. A lack or limited financial literacy and confidence by women. Again, this is one of the key barriers. Limited gender responsive legal and policy. And for example, we can talk about the gender budgeting, the public finance management, which is gender responsive, but in some countries, we can highlight some great examples where we have budget, which is gender responsive, really completely. One example is my country, our country, which is Rwanda. Limited fund for women empowerment and gender equality. So quickly, maybe on recommendation of strategies to address those. So for the constraint of time, I try to observe the minutes that I have given. Addressing these barriers requires a systematic change at all levels: financial education, cultural mindset shift to ensure women can confidently invest and build long-term wealth. Some specific recommendation strategy are as follows: enforcing pay transparency and advocate for equal pay legislation and prioritizing investing in your own businesses, even with smaller amounts. I think we have some examples, good examples, successful examples around the table. Maybe that would want to share some the example. Expanding paid family leave, affordable children care, and workplace policies that support flexible working arrangement, expanding women-focused investment groups, mentorship, and networking opportunities. Developing investment products that consider women's specific financial need, such as a flexible retirement plan. More representation of women in finance and investment advisory role, promoting financial literacy program from the early age, and offering accessible financial planning resource tailored to women's need, for example, debt management, wealth building strategies. Encourage financial independence and shared household investment decision, especially in household, because sometimes we noted that there are conflict between in the household between men and women, or husband and wife, when the communication did not went well. Join some existing initiatives such as the Index Universal Life Insurance to secure one's life and future. And here I think we have our own Immaculate could expand on that. That is really, really important. I can myself give a testimony of it. It's quite interesting. So maybe I will stop here for the interest of time and invite you for comments and post questions. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Back to you, my chair.
Thank you so very much, Madame Odette. That was very impressive. That was very, very good. That is quite information. Again, for the interest of time, as we can hear from our expert, women, financial independence issues range from a different range of issues that cannot actually be tackled in just 1 hour. But the ones that she's able to tackle on, if we can just sum them up, really, most of our women, let me say, for example, in the US, if we can actually try to educate ourselves, that financial literacy is going to help us to navigate all the issues. Because everything, actually, when you're educated, an educated mind can solve a lot of issues. The issues of work-life balance, the issues of wage disparities, the issues of lack of financial planning. All those can actually be solved by actually being aware. Being aware, you don't have to be discriminated because you're having a child. If you can actually venture into entrepreneurship, nobody's going to tell you when to work because you can make your own schedules. You're your own boss. You work when you want, where you want. You can work even in your bedroom. So thank you so much, Madame Odette. That was very, very, very touching. I'm going to leave everything for the audience. I know they have so many questions at the end. They are going to ask more or add more. Let us jump to the next speaker or the panelists so we can actually have enough time at the end to be able to touch more on the topics. The next actually is going to be Dr. Sharon Owanyuze. I'm going to ask you a simple, easy question. As a young professional woman, what key advice would you give to young adults striving for financial independence and long-term stability? Go ahead, Dr. Sharon.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everyone who joined us today. I'm happy to see that there are both females and males represented here, so it's great. We like our allies and our advocates. So thank you. And like was mentioned, today we are here to celebrate the Women's History Month. And like I was introduced, the term woman encompasses actually anybody from 18 and above. So as a young person myself, single, no children yet, I'm happy to identify in that group. And as was mentioned, I'm fortunate now to be a professor and a researcher in just mainly with education here in Missouri. And I'll be happy to share from that perspective about how we can achieve financial independence in that regard, even as from a younger age. The best things, the best time to start is yesterday, but the next best time is today. So we are all here to learn together, and I'm hoping that by the end of today, we'll be able to each, add to our knowledge something. So just to share a little bit about my story, I came to this country, the US, just as a student, studying all the way from end of high school, and just went through the process of bachelor's. And then afterwards, I learned about an opportunity that after bachelor's, you can actually apply to be a PhD student, which I didn't know before. And that's why I'm always excited to share about such opportunities to anyone that is willing to listen, because it's been a life-changing opportunity for me. And I've noticed that in most things, usually when you have such conversations, so getting connected with people in the community, getting to ask questions, getting to listen, you really learn a lot about things that could help you for your own advancement. So from after my bachelor's, I went on to pursue this program. Obviously, it would be longer than a person who has done a master's, but it was a wonderful opportunity because it felt like a job. I was a state employee for the state of Connecticut. Usually when you get admitted into a state university, like University of Texas, University of Connecticut, University of Missouri, you're working for the state. So you get to be an employee, and still you get your tuition taken care of and your stipend. So I always think, I'm sharing that story to say that education is always a launch pad, almost as something to get you going, especially when you're young and you don't have many responsibilities. Like, I know the worry is like, oh, how am I going to sacrifice 5 more years of my life? I mean, time is going to go anyway, you might as well use it well, especially when you have the opportunity to. Now, the other question that I usually hear people having is, what about my finances? How am I going to afford this? And that's why, again, reaching out to people who have done it can send you to resources. I finished 5 years without having to pay a coin on my tuition. And it's not because I'm any special. It's just because there were resources out there that I was fortunate enough to know about. So please reach out. So in terms of financial independence, again, it's not just about income. It's about having freedom to pursue different things and feeling like you have some sort of security that isn't dependent on your family or on people around you, caregivers. And we are always all growing and building ourselves up. So I would just want to, at least make this statement that being financially independent allows you to say yes to opportunities that you feel like serve you, and say no to things that you feel don't serve you, and that's really empowerment. So in terms of financial literacy, again, it's always important to start early. Just because, say you've gotten an education and you have a job that you're happy about, which I am, and I'm sure some people here in the audience are happy with what they're doing. The thing that I want to encourage all of us is to pursue multiple sources of income. You never know when that job may end. When you're working for somebody, they have control over that. So if you can find some side gigs, some consulting, some passive income, please consider that. There are several people that we are talking here on the panel are already doing that. So reaching out to Ms. Margaret, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Kathy. So there are different people here who can share with you these side opportunities. So to bring everything together again, empowering a woman, especially in education, can uplift an entire family. It's no longer the times where it's only men who are supporting their families. If you can be a woman and actually come together, if you have a partner or a spouse, you can both become better together and empower your family that way, or even as a single person. So just a closing thought here. Financial independence definitely gives women power to make those choices, not out of fear, but just to explore the freedom and purpose. And if I could offer again one key message to any young lady or even man here in the community is learn about money, invest in yourself by pursuing these education opportunities, and don't be afraid to build your own path. Be different, right? Like you may not know, I didn't know anybody who had done what I did, but I knew other people in other communities who may not look like me, but they did it. So it's okay to be different and to stand out. And because when one of our community people rises, all of us rise in some sort of way, whether it's a family member or whether it's a community that we are all contributing towards. So thank you for your time. I will be passing on the mic now.
Oh, thank you so very much, Dr. Sharon. That was very good. If I was to pick only a few, there was so many good stuff that was said here about women. Again, we're talking about women empowerment, not maybe necessarily we're talking about finance today, but women empowerment. You mentioned that actually planning for your financial future. Actually, the time was yesterday. So we keep pushing things. I have to first actually settle this, buy a car, buy a home, think about myself. No, think about yourself now because you don't know what tomorrow brings. Thank you so much for that. And something else you mentioned that really struck a chord in my mind was like being financially independent allows every woman to say yes to opportunities that serve them right and no to those that doesn't. So when you're actually financially independent, you're not going to be pushed wherever you're pushed. You're a human being. You have the rights to live, to be happy. So that is why many women are abused to death because, again, someone will tell you, without me, you can't actually survive. Without me, you can't actually eat. Without me, you have nothing. So being financially independent does not make us it's not supposed to make you rebellious, but it makes you stronger, even for yourself, even for your family, even for your husband, for your children. When something strikes, maybe, God forbid, as we were saying, a death strikes in the family. Imagine if you're a woman with children who is not working, who is not financially stable. Where are you going to learn to with your children? You can be a very good submissive wife, but if you can't stand on your two legs and support your family, you're failing your family. So being financially independent for everyone is very important. That was very important, Dr. Sharon. Thank you so much for that. Now we jump to our leaders in the house. This question actually is going to be the same for both Madam Kathy and Madam Leila, because they are our leaders in the communities and they do wear so many hats. When anything happens in the community, those are the ones who actually pick a call and actually learn to. So, Madam Kathy, I'll ask you, and it's going to be the same question after you're done with Madam Leila. As a community leader, we know you always witness families, especially women, struggling financially after losing a breadwinner in the family or a spouse. And they end up relying on emergency fundraisers like GoFundMe. We have seen those so many times. So what are the root causes of this financial vulnerability? And how can we shift from this reactive approach to a more proactive approach to ensure long-term financial security in our communities? Madam Kathy, please help us on that.
Thank you so much, Immaculate, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And it's always harder when you come right after incredible speakers, and I love that Odette gave us the statistics and the general on a larger scale, and then Sharon gave us the youth perspective. And I love the way she said that you wrote down the quote. It's like having that freedom. Financial literacy gives you that freedom, the education, part of it. So I really appreciate the speakers that have gone before me. So your question, as community leaders, what are the, as leaders, our role is to dedicate ourselves to empowering our communities, right? And we recognize that financial vulnerabilities in our community often stems from a few key factors. Some of them most of you have already mentioned them. One of them is lack of financial literacy. You mentioned it, Immaculate, Sharon mentioned it, and Odette also mentioned it. Many families we've seen haven't been equipped with the knowledge needed for effective budgeting, savings, investing, and estate planning. Actually, most of us don't even know what estate planning is. This knowledge gap leaves us unprepared for financial emergencies and limits our ability for building lasting wealth. Another factor is over-reliance on a single income. I believe Odette mentioned it. I think Immaculate as well. You expounded on that. When one person serves as the primary breadwinner, the sudden loss of income can create a significant financial instability. So what we need, diversifying income resources, is essential to safeguarding our financial well-being. Another factor is limited access to life insurance, if at all there is such. Without insurance or wills, or structured financial plan, families are left exposed during a time of crisis, as you mentioned, Immaculate. It's crucial that we understand and utilize these tools to protect our loved ones in terms of those crises. And there's another aspect that I think you all would agree with us. There is an issue of culture and societal expectations. In many households, financial decision making it's traditionally been a responsibility of one partner, and usually men. I think Immaculate mentioned it. So leaving women at a disadvantage when unexpected circumstances arise. The imbalance underscores the need for inclusive financial conversations. I'm just giving the factors that lead to such scenarios, and then I'll go down and talk about the reactive versus the proactive. So there is also the absence of emergency savings. We're living today paycheck to paycheck, right? So, and there is a lack, there's a significant number of families who do not prioritize long-term savings. Immaculate, you've said this like a million times. And we need to be in a situation where we can create investments or at least plan for retirement. So relying on emergency fundraisers sometimes in terms of crisis is not a sustainable solution. It is an immediate solution. And I think earlier on in our previous discussion, it negates that current situation. But long term, the families are left with a burden. So to shift from a reactive to a proactive approach, we must take the following actions. Some of these actions, my colleagues have already mentioned it, and I'm just speaking about them from a community perspective. So we need to promote financial education. Empowerment begins with education. Sharon mentioned it. Community-led financial literacy programs can equip each of us with the skills to manage our finances wisely. By learning about budgeting, savings, and investments, we are better positioned to plan for the future and navigate the financial challenges that we often find ourselves in. So we can encourage life insurance, have workshops that we often have. Immaculate has been right now, she's our, I would say, our community or general expert in this area. It's vital to invest in life insurance, create wills. So I remember previously people used to say that, oh my God, when you create wills, it's like someone is going to kill you, like, probably setting yourself up, But we need to set up robust financial safety nets. These steps ensure that our families are protected regardless of what the future may hold. So Sharon mentioned this. I'll just run over it. The support for multiple streams of income, entrepreneurship, side businesses, and passive income investments are key to achieving financial stability. Living paycheck to paycheck really leaves us vulnerable, and especially in these times that are very difficult. So diversifying our income sources helps mitigate the risk associated with relying on a single paycheck, and we do not even need to reinvent the wheel, right? These are we have so many people in our community, like Sharon said. She said, if I was able to get this facilitation, these opportunities, why can somebody else not also get the same good? So we just, for example, now she's put it out there. We could then, if I have my child finishing college and wants to pursue, she's a resource and should be able to advise. So these are some of the, on a larger scale. So strengthening a community-based financial systems as well is something that we can also look into in terms of doing away with the reactive and focusing on the proactive. So instead of depending solely on those emergency fundraisers, we can establish structured saving groups or plans, maybe cooperative investments or benevolent funds. Actually, that's something that we're actually looking into from the DMV community. This is one of the things we're actually looking into. So these community-based systems offer sustainable financial backing and foster a spirit of collective growth and support. And then my final proactive action that we can take is normalizing conversations about money and future planning. So breaking that cultural taboo around financial discussion, I think, is very essential. When both partners in a household are well informed, I think my colleagues mentioned it, are well informed and actively involved in financial planning, it creates a stronger, more resilient foundation for the future. I recently just passed by one of my friends' house, and we're discussing about investments and everything. And right now we're planning a Zoom meeting in a few weeks to talk to a couple of people about putting money aside, because sometimes it's very difficult to put even $100. But if you put that money into a specific savings, Immaculate can expand on that one. And then forget about it. My mother, if I use my mother as an example, she has, every month she gets her pension, I would say. She gets a percentage of that pension, and then she invests in bonds and stocks in Rwanda. So far as I speak today, she's built a house out of that money that she's been able to put aside. So these conversations are very, very important, and they build that foundation for a strong, for the future. So by making these proactive changes, we can empower our communities, reduce the financial vulnerability, specifically that falls on women, and then create long-term financial security for the future generations, as Sharon said. the group here, we are all committed to providing these tools and support any necessary help that each members of our communities would require and be able to thrive as a community financially. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so very much, Madam Kathy. That was awesome. Every speaker coming up, you would think like we have no issues in these communities because we have people who are aware. So what are we missing? What are we missing? Where is the missing link? That is why we are actually here. To discuss, to learn together, to see how those missing links can be actually eliminated. Because when we talk about those barriers that hinder women, hinder everyone, it is because just this month is Women History Month. But when we talk about these hindrances or these obstacles, we're talking about all our families all together. So when Kathy talks about normalizing financial discussions, that is actually in our communities. You talk about financial, lots of people are like, oh, those again. They are bringing the same issues again. But guess what? There's some people who complain about those issues. There's some people, when they have an issue, they learn to you, Kathy, for help. So we need to be self-reliant. We need to learn not to stop relying on one income. For sure, that is a problem because as we all here, we live in this country, this great, amazing country, but a one income, source of income, it is very hard to sustain a family actually the way you want. Even if one family member can, you never know what tomorrow brings again. We have always to think, if something happened to my neighbor, to my friend, you're not immune to that. We have always to think about that. That is where the reactive mode comes from. We always educate. We have these trainings every Thursday evening. The topic we have it called Financial Literacy and Money Matters every single Thursday. We educate, we go around the states to educate our communities, but our people tend to neglect those lessons. They feel like, they are trying to sell something. We are educating you. We're not selling anything. We are not knocking on your door to sell anything, but we're trying to share the knowledge to keep us afloat, to keep our communities and our families from these issues, from being reactive when something happens. Because we tell people about, for example, life insurance, like Kathy was saying. Life insurance is not a luxury for everyone. Remember, you may think like, hey, they're trying to sell me something. You don't even know if you can actually be approved for that. Not until you go through the process. That is when you know that this is actually not a luxury. It is not for everyone. Some people are not able to get it even when they want it. So like Sean was saying, when you needed it was yesterday. So step up, make a choice, make a decision for your family, because tomorrow is never promised for anyone. Thank you so much again, Madam Kathy. Last but not least, our Madam Vice President of USRCA, our overall leader, you oversee a lot, Madam Leila. I oversee so many issues in our communities, not just one state, but all the states in the US. You oversee those issues that our communities go through. You do advise on different levels. Take us through the same question. What do you see? What are the root causes? Why do you educate a lot? We do educate a lot. People, not just ourselves, just this team, but what is the missing link? Take us through that, Madam Leila. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm so like nervous to go after these amazing speakers, but I'll add on what they said. And thank you for having me on this forum today. And happy Women's International Women's Month, since the day is already gone. Yeah, it is really a packed question, and honestly, I'm going to give at least 3 causes of financial vulnerabilities. One will be lack of savings and emergency fund. Naturally, as I came to learn about these finances and everything, my understanding, and I believe it's true according to the financial experts out there, 6 months of savings can set you from falling. In those 6 months, you can find another job in case you lose your job. So without a financial cushion, unexpected expense can hit you. For example, medical or job loss. Guess what? At that time, you've fallen into debt. What if it was that one individual? If it's a husband and wife, and the husband is the one working, and that situation happens, we are all thinking about bankruptcy at that moment, because those bills are not small. You lose a job, like Kathy said, paycheck to paycheck. One paycheck goes, you're out. So having those passive incomes, which everybody I think I've spoken to lately is talking about passive income, from online passive income, everything. And usually we tend to think it's, oh, if I spend this $100 to get certified in this, what about this? But you don't understand that $1,000 or $100 will actually earn you more long run. The second part of the financial vulnerability is debt and high interest loans. Some of our community members, mostly even men, even if they're the breadwinners, most of the time, 99% of the time, they tend to get into high interest loans. The reason of that is because of the credit cards, not knowing how to maneuver that, not having that literacy, not having that knowledge of how do I go about this, not able to sit and talk to those financial expertise, people who are experts in finances. And we do have them in the community, but communities, we have this thing of a culture norm of not asking questions when we know somebody in my community is a financial expert, but I'm scared to talk, so they don't know my business. The third one is the lack of, again, which we've been talking about, financial literacy, not understanding your finances. Had I known always comes after, So how are we moving from the reactive to proactive approach? I did a financial education and literacy program. Again, going back into the communities, asking questions always gives you the answers. If I ask Immaculate about that and she doesn't have that answer, she will ask Kathy, and we can all come together and get that information. But as a community, we are scared. There's that fear of people knowing my business. And I think we need to engage the community more and tell them, talking does not mean it's not weakness. It's powerful. Asking for help in something that down the road is going to save you from bankruptcy, from depression, from all those other. When you fall into depression, you're falling into more debt. You tend to get into other habits that are not necessary. And with our communities, which we've seen more times than none, with our young people, things happen unexpectedly. And we tend to, again, run to help. But then if we could have protected prior to this, we could have covered this. And yes, when people come in, because it's our culture to come in and help, it's okay. But you already have that covered. There's no stress of, my goodness, my mom or my son or my grandchild is in the hospital and I don't even have health care. How about you ask questions to those who know the system? They'll get you to those health cares that can be cheaper. And then I talked about living within our means. That is another thing. We tend to live beyond our means because I want to be like Immaculate. And I don't know what Immaculate has on the side that I don't know. And when Immaculate was trying to tell me about that, I said, she's trying to sell me this. Yet I want to be like Immaculate. So it is that also a sense of competing, trying to live within beyond our means, which also we need to bring down in our communities. So what I'm saying, and I truly, truly appreciate you, Immaculate, for everything that you do, for this knowledge that you give to the community and everybody else involved. Let's continue that teaching and expanding and talking about how to empower ourselves, how to empower our community, our children. And if we can, and remind the children, if you can insure your phone, a iPhone 16, right? Insure your what is it, Tesla. Insurance is about $600-700 for a 22-year-old man, young man or young woman. You insure your cell phone. What about your health? What about you as a person? Love yourself and insure yourself so that if tomorrow something happens, at least you have a cushion in which you can go beyond that and be able to, if you have a family, support your family. If it's just you, yes, you still have that, responsibility to take care of yourself. So again, Immaculate, thank you. Team, thank you. And let's continue teaching our communities because they need it. And let's give them another light beyond what they have right here in their faces. We have other communities are not yet where they need to be. They understand it, but commitment is also something. The trust is also something. So if we can continue plugging with our communities, I think we will overcome a lot. Even if we do that reaction and reactive and we react to what they've said, but they will already have the proactive part and we react after. So thank you so very much. And I thank each and every one of you. This is amazing. Thank you, Immaculate. And thanks everybody who is on here today.
Oh, thank you so very much, Madam Leila. That was amazing. To sum it up, knowledge is power. We have to keep up. There is no stepping back for sure, because an educated community is a powerful one. We talk about breaking those financial barriers, but we can never actually reach to that point until we are educated community. And actually have this is a crusade we are on. We are not going to stop. This is not just, we're not doing this because it's a Women's History Month. This is what we do every Thursday. Again, we invite our listeners who came tonight every Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Central Time. We are always discovering. We discuss different topics every evening. This happened to be a Women's Celebration Month, but every Thursday we tackle different topics in regards to financial management. Like Madame Leila was talking about, our people are drowning in debt. People drown in debt and they can never even take themselves out. Not because they want to, but they don't even know how they got there. These banks out there, they are so good with catching us. You open a bank account, they will tell you, hey, we'll give you money. You feel like they are actually being nice to you. But guess what? If you cannot pay those credit cards on time, you're going to be hit with a 29%. Those are the same topics we tackle every evening on Thursday. We don't just talk about life insurance. When you talk about financial literacy and money matters, people feel just they think about life insurance. No, we go beyond that. We educate our communities on different topics. So we actually tackle those credit management lessons as well, because we have experts in the house. We have everything we need in our communities. All we have to do is actually plug in those educational rallies and crusades and be able to empower yourself. So this was amazing. Thank you so much, panelists. It's already 9, but we can't just leave without opening actually our mics to our great audience. They've been so patient with us. They're now moving. So this is the time for you, our great audience. So we need you to open up your mic. If you want to actually send questions in the chat, you can do that. If you want to open your mic and actually ask or add something. We believe that together we are a better community. Together we learn together. So open up your mic and say something. We'll appreciate that. The mic is open to the audience.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. This is a really great conversation. My name is Regina. I'm here in Portland, Oregon. And quick question. If you're planning to organize these meetings, either on a monthly basis, can people put in requests for specific topics?
Oh, thank you so much, Regina. Yes, actually, that is exactly what we do. So actually, our topic is the financial literacy and money matters. Anything in that area, we do actually tackle different topics every Thursday. We don't just discuss one. We actually always encourage our listeners to suggest what they want us to teach about, because we have professionals on all those corners. So yes, ma'am.
And what would be the best way to reach out to either one of you to suggest some of those topics?
I'll go ahead and put my number in the chat for everyone, or anybody else can put their numbers in there. So as you saw, I think if you saw the flyer, though, the flyer had actually my number as well.
Okay.
You can go ahead and reach out anytime. But I can still put my number in here.
I'll find a way to reach out to you.
Yes, ma'am.
But anyways, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, Immaculate.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. My name is Kundo. I'm thrilled to join this group. It has been a while. I didn't join for a while now, but I'm beyond grateful for being here. It was great information. I love all the information we were given. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
So I have a question for maybe, I don't know if you have people who work in a government or who work in state organizations. I was part of an organization in Virginia before I moved to Texas. It's called VIDA. It's a Virginia Individual Development Account. These organizations are like programs helps with lower incomes or people who are trying to save some money for either education, for down payment for the houses, or for any reason financially for families. And what they do, so you save a little amount in their program, and they can match up to what you saved, either for 6 months, for 12 months, or however you'll be in the program. I haven't looked here if in Texas, especially if they have those kind of programs, but I think it's something that can help communities, like our community in particular, or even others. So I don't know if anybody will look through that and maybe find information that can help our community. I think it will be so much helpful. Because, for example, like if you planning to buy a house or planning to go to college, but you haven't decided when to go because of the financial, you can be in the program for a certain time, and then whatever the amount you put in, they will double. They will match.
Match it up.
Yeah. So I think it's something that can help.
Well, thank you so much, Kundo, for that. That is sometimes those state-based actually savings account or even programs, they tend to be state-based. But
Right.
with us, for example, let me say you have young children.
Yeah.
So we have what we call juvenile index accounts. Actually, For some of our people, like what we used to, the traditional ones, people do college funds, for young children. But we came to find out, actually, as we dig deeper, the juvenile index account, those are index account, juvenile index accounts. You start your child when she's young. She'll get money, free money for college. She can buy their first home with that money. She has actually she kills too many birds with one stone. Your child is protected. Your child is saving for whatever they need to save for. Because actually sometimes we do have those conversations whereby we are comparing. Should I keep actually that college funding for my child, or should I open an juvenile index for them? What is the difference? The difference is if you open up a college funding for a child, that child has to use that money for college only. They cannot use it to buy a home. They cannot use it for to buy their first car. It cannot be transferable to another child. But if we open up a juvenile index account for your young child, they can use their cash accumulation for college. If you're lucky and your child is smart enough, like Sean was saying, she was able to go to college for free, to finish her PhD for free, you can transfer the money to another child, or you can use that money to buy to put down for their first home, their first car. So that is why actually we do encourage our people to be open-minded. Open up your mind. We all have savings account, Lily. We feel so good to have money sitting in account, but have you ever checked how much you're earning?
No.
I think we do have. I saw Melissa here. Actually Leila was also in banking. Those banks, if you can look at how much they have an index account, you're going to close your account and you find other avenues where to put your money. Because you're putting in your money just to keep it there. Instead of you earning something, you're paying fees for them to keep your money. But put your money in the index account and see how much you're actually compounding, earning the interest. That is why we have all these crusades out here for us to learn together. Come learn. We did not sell anything on this platform. We are educating. Come learn. Pick up what you need. If you might learn something on you, you may go back and compare what you have, but learn something. But with that Virginia-based program, it might be a state-based. We can look into here in Texas to see if those programs are here as well. But again, state-based programs are learned differently based on a state. But we can explore that more as well, Kondo. That was good.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else?
Immaculate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Immaculate, for organizing this event. And a happy International Women to everyone. And I want to give kudos to all the panelists. I think I know some of them. Dr. Sharon, she used to be part of the Dallas community and she left us, but hopefully she'll come back soon. And I think Odette, Kathy, and Gaju as well. So I just want to chime in quickly. As I mentioned in the chat room, so it's up to us locally fund solutions. So no one's gonna come help us. So we are privileged to have people like Immaculate who took initiative and that they are educating us on some topics such as financial literacy. But I think I want to challenge everyone. So how can we financially better ourselves? So I think if we're able to learn about financial literacy, example were given about banking and a few other things, is how we are going to grow as a community. So part of the community of Dallas. So I think we have so many folks who are educating us on this topic, and our community is vibrant, and we have so many initiatives to educate our people on how to not only understand finance, but also being curious and also challenge each other. So I guess my message to everyone today, let's challenge ourselves. So how can we financially better ourselves? What can we learn from other people? We have Immaculate who's teaching us on financial literacy, but what else can we learn to be financial secure for our future? So I guess I want to just challenge all of us, and also thank you for Immaculate for this great event, and looking forward to future events. And let's continue to challenge each other and grow our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacques. That was good. I know you are a community leader as well. You have done so many things to help those people who don't know Jacques. I think together we started what we call DFW, a professional group. That was actually the intent. The intent to support one another, to learn together. The older people who are in the professions already, they are already set. They can help the young people who are growing up, or even people who are looking for a job. So this is the crusade. The same crusade to be able to support our communities. You know, we can't just sit around and watch when people are suffering, not getting jobs, suffering when something strikes. This is the cause, and the cause is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We just call upon everyone to actually step into learning. Learning has never been a negative thing. Every time you join these kind of spaces, these are safe spaces. You come in, you can just listen, you can decide to contribute, but whenever you come here, trust me, you're not going to go back the same. And we kept on talking about those financial literacy, those challenges with women. So as we can see us here, we are all, for me, for example, I've been in the US quite for some time, about 24 years now, worked in corporate for about 15. Now I'm a completely entrepreneur. I don't have to work for anyone. So I would love to see my fellow women. You don't have to leave your children at home or at the daycare, or having to be actually paid less than what you're worth, like we're talking about to pay disparities, because you make or you can decide what you make. Nobody's going to tell you you can't do this because you're a woman. No, because that one no longer have to go through that. So we are here to share those resources. We are here to educate. Like my company, I was introducing myself from the beginning. IB Financial Freedom Solutions. Those are what we do. We help people. If you want to change jobs, you want to switch the career, we actually hold your hand, take you through something else you can do that it can actually help you to balance that work-life balance. You can be balanced. Nobody should tell you that this is not possible. This is a country that actually helps anyone who is willing to step up. Unless you want to stay at your 9-to-5 job, that is okay too. But don't cry that this is hard, because there are so many opportunities that can actually help you. If you are interested, there is a number on the flyer. Please reach out. We are here to learn together, to hold your hand and see that these issues we have, not just women. We're talking about women today, but the issues we have, financial issues we have, they go across the board. So yes, we are always here to learn together, to educate one another, so that we can actually lead better communities. Just wanted to see if no one else.
A quick comment.
Yes, Sam.
Our communities tend to have a stigma about openness. And so just wanted to say that seeking information is not a weakness, it's a strength. So let's be strong and learn, for the future is ours. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Sam. That was good. There's no need to be scared. We all learn. We all are students of the world. So whoever will tell you that I know everything, tell them good luck to you, because we are here to learn. Nobody knows everything. As long as you're open to learn, you learn every day, and the more you learn, you're going to better yourself, your family, and your community at the same time. Anybody else wants to? I could be from the panelists as well. If you want to add something else, open up your mic. And we're about to close, by the way. Time is running out. Went well then. We'll go ahead and close it out. Thank you once again, everyone. Thank you once again for being with us tonight, for celebrating this International Women's Day month. We missed the date, March 8th, but this is still our month. It is always our time. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for learning with us. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for listening in. This was great. Madam Kathy, please take it on.
I just wanted to leave something with everyone. I saw somewhere, poor, the word poor is P-O-O-R, right? So what we are trying to do is create opportunities for ourselves, for each other, for our community, right? Because together we thrive. If I thrive, and I bring along somebody else, I'm empowering another person, and then all together collectively we get empowered. So think about it this way, right? So poor means, if you want to think about it, think of like poor as in P-O-O-R means passing over opportunity repeatedly, right? So oftentimes we can say, but we never get any opportunities, right? So what we should actually be saying, like what we should look at, and I think Sharon alluded to this, every day is an opportunity to get up and invest in yourself. To do this, we have to just create the time and say, okay, every day I'll carve aside an hour, even 30 minutes, to just learn something new, to learn a new skill. There's so many other, we talked about passive income, we talked about side gigs, we talked about these things. So if at least we can, the takeaway that we can go with is just allow ourselves to wake up every day and look at it as an opportunity to invest in ourselves. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. We don't have to be poor. No? As long as we're open-minded, poor is gone. Thank you, Madam Kathy. Well, thank you once again. This was a great evening, an insightful discussion. To give a few recommendations, first of all, I want to thank our incredible panelists for an insightful discussion, and to everyone who joined us tonight. Achieving women's financial independence requires collective actions from individuals, communities, organizations, and key policy makers. To prioritize on a few major issues we found, for example, financial literacy, we encourage women and everyone to invest in accessible education and mentorship programs like this. We always have this financial literacy and money matters to help our communities as well, women in this instance, to learn better about our finances and to be able to make actually informed financial decisions, and to balance work-life, for the work-life balance. We advocate for flexible work policies and entrepreneurial opportunities. For mothers, again, as we heard from our discussants, we understand that there are some responsibilities, mothers' responsibilities, that are not transferable. Although you have a helpful spouse, that spouse might not be able to breastfeed children, to take care of your children. So for us actually to be able to balance that life and work, we have to make sure that we open our minds for entrepreneurship. That will give you actually time. You'll be able to make your own schedule. You work at your own hours to be able to take care of your family, as well as bringing some money on the table to support your community. And for the long-term financial planning, we encourage women and everyone for savings. Please let us try to remind ourselves to save for our future, to invest for education, and to set long-term goals in regards to financial management. Save for today, save for tomorrow, just for a rainy day, and save for your future. As always, we encourage ourselves not to live for today, because life is not just for today. So let us invest in ourselves financially, plan for our family today, plan for tomorrow, and plan for our generation to come, because our children, our grandchildren, they'll bang on us. Where we start will help them to live a better financial free society. Something else our discussants and the team discussed on as well was emergency funding. We encourage everyone to promote automatic savings and income diversification for financial security. That again comes to that know-how of having better financial education to know how to plan for your family at the same time. By taking these steps, we can break barriers and empower women and everyone to achieve lasting financial independence. Let us continue to work together. We are here to support our community. We are on a crusade to educate our community on financial matters and financial literacy. Every Thursday, again, as we said, we are always here, 8 p.m. Central Time, to learn together with you, to hold your hand. If you want to invest in yourself, if you want to become an entrepreneur, we are here as entrepreneur women and men, and we're here to hold your hand and show you the way. If you want to save for your future, if you want to save for your children's education, yes, we have great programs here to help you start your children early on a better savings plan, on a better future plan. We are not building just today. We want to build a better financial, strong, actually habits that will help us today, tomorrow, and our generations to come. I want to thank you once again for this wonderful, wonderful educational evening, not just for women, but for all of us. Happy International Women's Month to all our beautiful ladies again. And thank you to all gentlemen who joined us tonight to learn with us. Keep tuned. Stay tuned. We'll share the recording and we want to keep learning with you on these financial matters. Thank you once again and have a great evening.